Hi friends, and welcome back to playing tribute to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where we are in the middle of a witch trial, trying to prove that Aspella Cantabella was not, in fact, a witch, and did not cast a spell, Ignaze, at these two robbers that were trying to mug her. We have just a new witness has just entered the court, so we had a little bit of a break. It seems we didn't get to chat in the lobby for long or any amount of time, but we do know that Phoenix has snapped out of his whole "I'm just a baker" thing, and he knows who he is. And we also have got Layton and Luke on our side. We're all kind of working together to save Aspella. Let's see how it goes. Well, we will now continue with the trial of Aspella Cantabella. There's our new witness. Oh boy. A group of witnesses huddling up before a joint testimony in a witch trial. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, that's right, we didn't have a recess or anything. They just were huddling and then... Inquisitor Barnum, if I may ask you a question. Yes, my lord. We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask you. Why was this obnoxious-looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses? Gee, Baldy's right, Barnum. That's just cold-blooded. I already forget what I did for his voice. There's but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed. I still love that he's labeled some guy, though. You, sir, failed to come forward. When we were asking for witnesses for this very trial, you were nowhere to be seen. That's because I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night, except for maybe at Rouge's Tavern. So you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking. Anyway, it's all water under the bridge now, so far as I'm concerned. Just leave the rest to yours truly. During the last interrogation, the defendant brought forth some surprising proof. Namely, that there was little possibility that the accused could have used magic. I've never heard such a claim. It must be the duty of this logic. What rubbish! Logic, you say? I ain't got a clue what that is. But I do know that this bread bacon baker ought to head back to the bakery. Eloquently said. Wait, Gramps, give me and my partners over here a chance to speak. You want to know how this witch managed to beholden that scepter, don't ya? When you say Gramps, you wouldn't mean me, would you? I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description. Oh, we'll show you she's a witch. I'll put Snowy's beautiful white coat on it. And guard! Oh, they're huddling again. All right, team, let's do this. Witnesses. Oh boy. Yes, well, let us proceed with testimonies. Why do I feel like I've totally lost control of this situation? Did you ever have control of the situation? I guess we had that whole like cornered theme. It was working well. It's clear as day Aspella's a witch. We're not backing down on this. Okay, that's not helpful. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands. The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back. The rogues grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. If she put the bucket down on the ground, wouldn't it have mud on it like the lantern? So, she had the witch's scepter behind her back. She then dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. Is that the case? Then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic. If that was the case. This is bad. Thanks to this guy. Now all the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on Aspella. I wish it went faster, sorry. They each harbor a shared anger toward witches and magic. Such is the cause of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict passed as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm, but they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least, that's how it seems. This isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth. Sir Baker, Sir Wright. Yes. You do not appear to be a mere simple baker, that much is clear. On the other hand, you're no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here on this battlefield as an equal. Gee, thanks, guy. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there's any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands. I understand. Defender, please begin your interrogation. Okay. That's not helpful. But they might interact with each other. I should press more things because they might interact with each other. He's the new guy, though. Okay, this is important.
Hold it!
The witch's scepter was behind her back. Well, it's like my little snowflake here. Whenever my darling gets too heavy, I hoist him up and carry him on my back. You mean your baby goat, right? Yes, they're a cuter little goat in this entire courtroom, right, Precious? I know it's been asked already, but you didn't see the witch's scepter, did you? Well, no, but it must have been made invisible by the magic and then put on her back. You know, Snowy is still such a tiny little thing. If I put him on my back, you can hardly see him. I hardly see the point of that comment. So the accused grabbed the witch's scepter after the lantern fell. Okay. And then this is the new... Whoops, This testimony, something's definitely not right here. What do you think, Nick? There's no way this disappearing scepter explains what actually happened. I mean, no one saw anything. How can anyone prove he was there? This is starting to get really annoying. I can talk all they want about an invisible scepter, but no way is anything flipping under my radar. Do you believe that is correct, Mr. Wright? Somehow, we must find a clue that can lead us to another... Yeah, you're right. I think Mr. Personality there might be the key to doing just that. I was trying! I accidentally pressed the arrow instead of pressing press. There we go, okay.
Hold it!
As I was saying, this is the new guy, so I want to press him. She put the milk bucket down? That's right. I reckon if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing.
Objection!
But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put the bucket on the ground. Ah, but no one said a thing but not seeing her put the bucket down either, right?
What?
Is that all of them? Are all of them having trouble? Yes, all of them are having trouble. Who should I go to? Which one? Let's start over here.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Kira. Huh? Yes? What is it? Tell me, what do you think of this witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about it until now. Why, you're right. How odd. Everyone must have simply forgotten, myself included. Huh? But, yeah, Spella definitely did put that milk bucket down. That way she was able to easily grab her scepter and use magic. Easy peasy, right? The nerve, Nick! It looks like she's trying to peg Spella as a witch every chance she gets. Are Really? I don't know how much more of his testimony I can stand. Well, I'm gonna have to go through again.
Hold it! Objection!
What?
Alright.
Hang on!
I think he's gonna be helpful. Excuse me, Mr. Wordsmith. What is it? Oh, boisterous blue one. Tell me, what did you make of this witness' testimony just now? You stated the defendant put the bucket on the ground, and then the other witnesses mentioned that. Let me tell you something, young man. Long have I lived in Portsmouth. In that time, I have forgotten much. Dreams, aspirations, even love. I simply forgot about that bucket. Like one would forget about a single drop of water within a bucket that is life. Thank you for that, Mr. Wordsmith. No further questions. I still don't understand a single word that comes out of his mouth, Nick. Sheesh, let's get back to the drawing board. Okay, that other woman was more helpful before. She's the one that, how I found the,
Hold it!
the first issue.
Objection!
We're just gonna cycle through this a while.
What?
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mary. Huh? You mean snowing me? Tell me, what do you think of the witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket down the ground. No one has said anything about this until now. That must be how it happened. The girl probably placed the milk bucket on the ground. Yes.
Objection!
Miss Mary, you did not mention anything to that effect in your previous testimony. And yet you clearly stated that the one thing you were specifically focused on, oh, that's right! More than anything else was the milk bucket. I should have been looking at her the whole time. Ergo, you should be able to confirm to the court whether or not the bucket really was placed on the ground.
Objection!
I don't like it when you shake your head at me. One's memory is not flawless, simply nice. Pay attention to what the witness was saying. The accused probably placed the milk bucket on the ground. There's the possibility such was the case. Yes, that's right, isn't it, my little kettle pumpkin? I knew it. There's something fishy about her testimony, but indeed, it would seem that we require a decisive piece of evidence. We ought to expose the contradictions in these witnesses' testimonies. Yeah, I just have to think of what that could be.
Hold it!
I guess one more with him.
Objection!
And then we'll present the lantern.
What?
Hang on!
If this doesn't work. Excuse me, Mr. Neidle. Tell me, what do you think of this testimony just now? Thinks the accused plays a button, no one has mentioned it. I'm reminded of but one thing, sir. A battle tactic is important to any knight. Imagine, in one hand you hold your sword, and in the other your shield. And suddenly, from the shadows, an itch of epic proportions takes to your back. What doth one do? Indeed, what can one do? Well, let me tell you. One must drop one's sword, and fell that unholy itch with well-timed scratch to one's back. Right. A crafty witch would surely use the same tactic, would she not? Call it my signature back scratch attack of great justice. Right. By the way, be wary when using that tactic in battle. I find my opponents rarely give me ample time to remove my armor and scratch. Wait, he removes his armor too? I guess that makes sense. Thank you for that, Mr. Neidl. No further questions. Mr. Neidl sure takes the whole knight thing super seriously, huh? Yeesh, it's back to the drawing board. Okay. I think I have to present the lantern.
Objection!
My credibility! No, the Picarots! Maybe it's the bucket that I present.
Objection!
Okay. Same idea, different thing. So much for different ways of solving the same puzzle, by the way. With the whole 1 minus 1, 1.1 thing that we learned a few episodes ago. How long ago was that at this point? I'm afraid what really happened is not quite so simple. What? What you talking about? It had only just stopped raining moments before the crime took place. As a result, the ground was very muddy. If Miss Cantabella really placed this bucket on the ground, like you claim she did, then it should be caked with mud, just like the lantern was after it fell. See, you mentioned the lantern, Phoenix. Why didn't the lantern work? Well, I'd say it clears up your muddy testimony, wouldn't it do? Oh, well. Hey, Barnum. What? You're just gonna sit there looking pretty? Come on, give me a hand here. Other than perhaps to the dungeon. At any rate, there's but one question we ought to ask. Why is there no mud on that bucket? To the witness with the goat, may I ask you a question? Huh? Are you talking to us? Indeed, you admitted to the court that you returned home with a milk bucket. Illegally, I must add. My oh my, such harsh words, Inquisitor. When you took the bucket home, you must have simply wiped the mud from the bucket, is that correct? Objection, leading the witness. You know, now that you mention it. Objection, leading the witness. No way, don't tell me. That milk bucket? Oh, that's right! I remember now. I don't know if what was on the bucket was mud exactly, but certainly was dirty. Before taking it inside with me, I remember wiping it clean with an old rag. Are you kidding me? Exceptional work, Inquisitor Barnum. Right, it all makes perfect sense. See, we were right all along. Weren't we, Inquisitor Barnum? I knew that sword weren't just for show, Barnum. You slice his argument in two.
Objection!
Witness, Miss Mary. What is it? You're absolutely sure there was mud stuck to this milk bucket? Oh my, well, truth be told, I don't remember whether it was mud exactly. I do remember cleaning the bucket off when I got home. Ugh. Irk. It would seem the defense has failed to disprove the witness's claims. Of that, we can be quite certain. Aha! That'll teach your Bluey. You got that right. Do me a favor, will you, Gramps? I want to change my testimony just a tiny bit. We'll allow it only if the witness refrains from name-calling in the future. You got it, my lord. Well, all this court mumbo-jumbo has left me thirstier than a dog in a desert. I don't even think it can hold that much. Well, I guess I'm pressing this new information. But no one knows for sure if Miss Cantabelli dropped the milk bucket on the ground. Because there's no mud on it. Is that what you're saying? Hey, we went over this already. We know the Go Lady wiped off all the mud.
Objection!
However, Miss Mary doesn't clearly remember whether or not it was mud that was stuck on the bucket. I really don't remember. But maybe? I guess maybe there was mud on it. I mean, she couldn't hold the scepter without putting the bucket on the ground. Miss Mary, please give a definitive answer. You all done, Bluey? Take all you want, because it ain't gonna help. You see. 5 of us, we saw that witch Quinn did.
I
So,
say.
clear as day. Who has the issue? Oh, you're floating around like weird. I guess you're the one who has the issue.
Hang on!
Excuse me, mister? Earthstagrams. Defender, when you say Gramps, might you by any chance be referring to me? No, of course not, Your Honor. Mr. Wordsmith, are you listening? I heard you quite clearly. First time, young man. These ears hear all. The crackling of the fire, the whispering of the crowd, and now your voice. If that's the case, then allow me to ask you a question. You were clearly deep in thought just now. Do you have something to say about this man's testimony? Indeed so. I felt something was amiss. However, what that means, I cannot say. Amiss? Witness, could you tell us what precisely was amiss with this third-rate testimony from this third-rate witness? What a burn, Barnum. 5 heads are better than 1. 10 eyeballs are better than 2. As I listened to this man's testimony, I could not help but become aware of something most odd. Tonight, when the crime occurred, we all made haste to that terrible scene. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated through the air. The shadows of those present cast through the dim light. And yet there were but 4 figures standing in that vicinity, myself included. 4. Hold on 1 second. You're saying that there were only 4 witnesses at the crime scene tonight? These eyes may be old, but they know what they saw. Is something the matter, Miss Mary? No, it's just that Snowy and I are trying to remember what happened at the time. I remember the flames erupting into the air, and that's when Snowy and I made our mad dash to save the precious milk. And when those 2 ruffians were set ablaze, the flame filled the area with light. In that sudden flash of light, we could see that there were other people around besides ourselves. And that's when I saw them, the other people, that scrambled into the scene along with us. I'm quite sure of it. There were only 4 of us at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Hold it, madam. What in blazes is going on? We have 5 witnesses on the stand, all claiming to have witnessed tonight's events firsthand. That means we have 1 witness too many. Don't be stupid! Why, you lot better stop speaking out of turn. All for one and one for all. Remember, we all promised to take this witch down together, didn't we? It's not quite that simple. We saw what we saw. Well, I say it's all about the numbers, and I can count it. I counted, I say. I'll have you know my counting is flawless. One night's when sleep eludes me, I can count sheep from moonrise to sunrise. 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, what difference does it make? Things all started getting muddled when you showed up. What the? You saying it's my fault? I was there, you fool! Didn't I just finish saying that? My testimony is strong as steel, even if it's not completely stainless. Order! I said order. What is going on here? You claim the number of witnesses does not add up. You never paid witness to such an outrageous conflict. There is but one answer to this puzzle. A single possibility. What do you mean? Without a doubt, magic must have been used at the scene of crime. Furthermore, it would indeed appear that there were only 4 witnesses present at the scene. And yet currently, we are faced with 5 witnesses testifying to the court. That certainly is quite a fatal contradiction. With only one possible answer. Would you not agree, Mr. Wright? The answer can't be. Well, out with the supposed answer, Sir Blue Knight. What is your explanation for the current number of witnesses? One of them is the witch. Well, it might seem far-fetched. The reality is actually rather simple. The real witch, the real murderer in this case, is actually one of these 5 witnesses. What? Right, did the real witch make themselves invisible with the gem? You're telling us that the witch is amongst this group of witnesses? What other rubbish! There's no possible way that such a claim would be true. That's right, you've got a lot of nerve accusing one of us being a witch. We have told you nothing but the truth. Yet you still have the gall to bat about such an outrageous accusation. Have you been telling me the truth? Behold is my trusty shield deflects your petty words, like petty words that they are. From the court illustrator, just in case. Good for you. Especially with how short you thought that this trial was going to be. Very well, witnesses. I'd like each of you to mark your location at the time of the murder. Oh. Quickly now. The number of witnesses doesn't matter. It looks like we're getting somewhere now. But we haven't even scratched the surface of this case yet. So thanks to this top hat wearing gentleman. The court accepts this crime scene sketch into evidence. When the witness is a witch, that could only mean one thing. Somebody here is telling the truth. Looks like they're all coming from different angles, except for the flower girl and the drunken guy. Coming from the same place. Would indeed appear to be the case, Mr. Wright. Listen well, Sir Layton. The path you tread now is a dangerous one. Claiming that a witch is among these most honorable witnesses. It's a serious accusation, should it prove to be a false one. You will find yourself at the other end of my sword. Do I make myself clear? Huh? But that wasn't so much my suggestion. I mean, the gentleman here with the lovely top hat was the one who urged me to say it. It's the same thing, Sir Blue Knight. Indeed, it's the same thing, Sir Blue. It is the same thing, Mr. Wright. Oh boy. Now, ready your sword. Ready? Were you listening? You claim the witch is not the accused, and as someone else at the crime scene was the true culprit. If what you say is true, then surely you can tell the court exactly where this person was at the time of the crime, can you not? Come now, Sir Blue Knight. Only you can enlighten us as to who this real witch actually is. certainly. Shows where the witch was at the exact moment the murder took place. Okay, well, the Ignace thing can only happen within a meter of the victim, so she or he had to be here. Like, here, with these guys, a meter away from them. Can I put it there? Does that work? Like in the middle of everybody?
Got it!
Yeah, I guess so. The witch must have been standing here.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? Unfortunately for you, that spot has absolutely nothing to do with any of these witnesses.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, I suggest you try taking a look at this. Grand Grimoire. According to this tome, Ignace summons a circle of flame within 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the witch had to have been within 1 meter of the flame when casting the spell.
Objection!
Of course. We needn't say any more. Certainly not. First off, notice that there's no one else in that area other than the accused. It should also be quite obvious from the sketch that there's clearly nowhere for anyone to hide.
Objection!
True, there aren't any hiding spots, however, there's one other possibility if the witch wanted to stay hidden from sight. Yeah. Get a spell. Most intriguing, since you seem to love showing evidence. Prove it. How is the witch able to hide in plain sight?
Take that!
This Talia Magica contains 2 magic gems. Ignace and 1 other spell. That's right, the spell Demir. Demir. It cannot be. That's right. There was most certainly a witch present at the crime scene, only they were completely invisible. All thanks to the magic spell Demir. Oh, what foolishness is this? Trampled that down. Let's keep going. Order in the court. Defender, what are you getting at? I thought the witch used Demir to make the Talia Magica disappear.
Objection!
According to the Grand Grimoire, under the entry for Demir, it causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. In other words, supposing the witch were holding the staff in one hand, while touching parts of their body with the other hand, they would be able to make themselves disappear. This is the reason for the conflicting number of witnesses? Yeah, you banged that desk, Layton. Indeed it is, which means witnesses. Someone amongst you is not disclosing the entire truth. And that person is the witch we seek. I believe this is the most probable scenario. Luke can't even see over top of the table. He's too short. Honorable witnesses. You will testify to the court one final time. Tell us exactly what you saw and what you did not see at the scene of the crime. How absurdly absurd the purpose of this trial is to convict that girl of the crime, is it not? That's right. We are not witches. Can there be a male witch? Because witch is usually, like, determining... This is talking about a female. It always was in witch trials, too. Like Harry Potter. It's like witches and wizards. Anyway. Witnesses, I ask that you listen. There is a witch mingling among you. That's right. I'm afraid you are all no longer brothers in arms. The true opponent here is within your own group. The real witch is one of these 5 witnesses. Fine by me. Time to put an end to this trial. You wish should know where we all were standing tonight. It matters not whether the flames not burn just the same. That flame, I never saw anything like it. It literally left me speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream. I heard the tiniest cry, and then when I turned around, the blighters were roasting. So I rushed right over. I heard the incantation, then the flame suddenly erupted. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 people there with us. As I said, there were only 3 others present, like that man there who was stumbling around like a newborn calf. Okay, so he specifically pointed out that guy. A most heinous act indeed. No small wonder all these witnesses are so confused. Which amongst the witnesses? An utterly baseless claim. I don't think so, Barnum. The only baseless claim in this case is of Espella being a witch. It's more than a little likely one of these witnesses is the culprit. These testimonies are bound to tell me who the real witch is. I feel like I need to press everything.
Hold it!
In other words, you're not sure exactly what happened tonight, is that right? Defender, I fought with burning vigor this night. Do not belittle my efforts. Right. A knight does not just run away at the mere sight of fire. Ha! No one even said anything about running away. Did he run away? I'm going to be perfectly straight with you. A pillar of fire illuminated the area as it rose high into the air. There by the fire was the witch. And excluding the 2 unfortunate knaves, I counted 3 others.
What?
You have something to say there?
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Kira. What do you want? You looked like you had something to say about the testimony just now. It was about the number of people at the crime scene. Have you ever played the Daisy Pedal game? Daisy Pedal game? 1 witness? 2 witnesses? 3 witnesses? 4 witnesses? 5 witnesses? 6 witnesses? What are you doing? What an adorable game. Seems like something out of a fairy tale. Seriously, Your Honor. Anyway, you may continue your testimony, witness. Why do I feel like she was trying to distract me or something? I don't fully understand what the point of that was. So the game tells me when somebody's going to say something. Which is interesting. Let's keep going. These are only 4 witnesses. You cannot say that for certain. Perhaps I missed the other witness. Perhaps they were obscured by the shield. See, that's another possibility. How about we not talk about your shield anymore? Very well. Okay, well that didn't lead me to anything. Okay, so you clearly have a problem.
Hold it!
Must have been pretty terrifying, huh? Yes. It's the kind of thing you only read about in books. The moment the pillar of fire erupted, I could feel my throat tightening. It was so difficult to breathe, I couldn't even manage so much as a scream. Right, after all, the flames engulfed the scene in the blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. Yes, I'm sorry. That's why I can't really remember. So you can't remember the number of people at the crime scene. Naturally, that's understandable, of course. It's also why I was a little late getting to the scene compared to the others. Okay.
Hold it!
Tiniest cry. Might have someone saying the incantation for the spell. My memory's kind of hazy on that one. Scared me good though. Never jumped up to meet feet so fast in my life. Nearly had a heart attack. Jumped up. That's right. It was still raining cats and dogs, so being the resourceful chap that I am, I decided to doze under a tree for a bit.
Hang on!
Is everything all right, Mr. Wordsmith? What is it that you want this time, young man? I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts on the testimony just now. Oh, yes. Thoughts about slumbering under trees. You mean? Slumbering? I often find myself weaving the most intricate of dreams under that very tree. Of course, I could not have tonight. Not with that uncouth man serving my special dreaming spot, could I? So again, he's witnessing the guy. Are you using this cross-examination to argue over a napping spot? His hopes such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future. Witness, please continue your testimony.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely certain? I mean, I could have pressed him again, but I don't know. I was doubting that it would do anything like the last time whenever I pressed the knight. Well, I believe so, but then when you think about it, can anyone really be absolutely certain of anything? It worries me that you're saying that in the middle of a cross-examination. I believe the witness means that there is no way she can be certain whether there were 4 witnesses or 5 at the crime scene. Anyhow, there was a matter of great importance that Snowy and I had to tend to. Ha, you must mean. That's right, the milk! If any soot had gotten into that milk, it would have been tragedy, did it not? Tragedies.
Hang on!
Could I stop you there, mister? Mister! Ah! Whoa, tone down the volume, Bluey. That's my line. Does anything come to mind regarding Miss Mary's testimony? Nope, not really. Nothing important anyways. Just that I think this old lady is full of it. Huh? I'm not talking about the milk, man. The milk! You know the second you try this stuff. It ain't nothing to write home about, let me tell you. What are you saying, you dolt? Who on earth would let you drink anything as delicious as the milk from my farm? Ruffian like you's better served by whatever unthinkable liquid is in that never-ending mug of yours. Are you guys using this cross-examination to argue over milk? So such arguments do not lead to any criminal acts in the future. Continue your testimony.
Hold it!
So his is the only useful testimony because it's actually naming somebody that was there. So including yourself, there's a total of 4 witnesses at the crime scene, correct? That is how it's come to pass. By the way, what do you mean by stumbling around like a newborn calf? Yes, that was the man as inebriated as he was loud. Quite the humorous sight it was, I dare say. He must be the witness. Permanently glued to his cup of whatever it is he's drinking. When I saw the flames rise up into the sky, I wondered to myself, my word, whatever could that be? However, I could not simply walk over to check. My knees were a bit weak from shock, you see. That's when the wobbly-legged gentleman came running over. Yeah, just him. Okay.
Hang on!
Oh, it silenced it, too. Something the matter, mister? Maybe it's important. Maybe that means it's important. Mister! Whoa, tone down the volume, Bluey. And again, that's my line. So, Blue Knight. Next time, please think before trying to press this witness. Looks like this guy even managed to scare Barnum half to death. Barnum. Now then, sir, about Mr. Wordsmith's test. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Wordsworth. He claimed you were stumbling around. What does he mean by that? I'm gonna set the record straight right now. No way was I stumbling around anywhere. I like to think of it more like staggering with style. Responsible adults should know better than to go stumbling around in the dead of night. Hey look, I don't just go stumbling around like some clumsy idiot. I've got more sense than that. But anyway, I kind of tripped over a large stone. I mean, you don't exactly see what's on the ground in front of you when you're running at full health, right? So you could say I put my life out on the line, proving to you that you really need to watch where you're going when you run. How courageous of you. Someone give this guy a medal. My lord, this testimony is a meaningless waste of everyone's time. Well, defenders, is there a point to this particular line of questioning? I mean, the music stopped, so I think so. Question further. Always question further. Get all the information. Amanda stated earlier that he tripped over a large stone. Mister, I have one question for you. I want you watching what was in front of you. Well, to be honest with you, I ain't much of a real reason, but something suddenly caught me attention. Out of nowhere, I sorta heard someone call me out me name. Oh, well, what's your name? You heard your name. Of course, I turned around when I heard it. Who wouldn't? When a woman calls your name, you pay attention, am I right? So you heard someone call out, "Hey, you," from behind, you mean? What? I said they called out my name. How many guys do you know called "Hey, you"? My name is Amir. Don't you forget it, Bluey. You hear me? I must say, this gentleman really does not strike me as an Amir. You know, Professor, it's not a very memorable name, huh? That's harsh. Honorable witnesses, is there anyone among you who was aware of this man's name prior to now? Not at all. He has only just been Mister to me. A knight's name is only as good as the name of the sword he carries. It's the first I've heard of this, I dare say. I did not expect his name to be one such as Amir. I'm sorry, but I didn't know his name either. I only remember the names of my most loyal customers. Okay, looks like absolutely no one knew this witness's name. You know, it ain't really much of a surprise to me either. But seriously, I definitely heard someone call me name. When you get to be me age, I really start to wonder when y'all find that true love, you know. I thought that pretty voice tonight might have been a sweetie. Your Honor, I don't believe we should be so quick to label Mr. Amir's testimony meaningless. Would you not agree? I request that this witness add this amusing anecdote to his testimony. Understood. Witness, amend your testimony, but please reflect only on the important points of your story. I'm telling you, I heard someone call me name. I was looking around trying to find him. I think it's time to present something. See? Simply chant Amir to make it reappear. Amir.
Objection!
Oh, for the love of Pete. What do you want from me, game? It wants me to press this. That's what it wants me to do. I clearly know where you're headed, game. The moment I heard his name, I was like, oh my goodness.
Hold it!
Excuse me, I mean Amir. I don't sweat it, Bluey. Mr. Hey You is all the same to me. You stated that you heard your name being called from behind. Are you absolutely sure about that? No, well, right or wrong. Sure sounded like a name. I mean, what else could it have been? Wouldn't have remembered having it if I hadn't heard something, right? Still. Maybe there's a chance I just imagined it, huh? Anyway, remember it came from somewhere behind me. Somewhere behind you. Something the matter, Mr. Wright? Mr. Amir's memory isn't the most accurate, but if what he says is true, then there's definitely something there. Something, you say? Might you mean a contradiction? Yeah, I think so. Although, I don't know, there's just something strange about his testimony. I don't see any decisive evidence in the court record that can help. What do you mean to say you found a contradiction that cannot be supported by the evidence?
Objection!
My lord, this line of interrogation is a complete waste of the court's time. Defender, I must warn you from here on. Any unnecessary questioning will be dealt with accordingly. Yeah, well, you already dealt with me a couple times for nothing, so... If I don't answer correctly here, the curtains for this trial and for a spell. If you are intent in finding faults in this witness's testimony, you will need to present decisive evidence to back up your claims. I wish the game was more apparent on when I have to present and when I have to press to present. I think that's a big deal here that, like, trips me up. That's the thing with press everything. You gotta press first. If you're gonna present something, you gotta press first. Just in case this happens. There's not one single piece of decisive evidence in the court record. What do I do now? Mr. Wright. Mr. Layton. I have an idea. I believe there is a weapon of sorts with which you may be able to expose this contradiction without the need of evidence. Weapon. Now, defender, give us your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The defense finds that the witness's testimony... Your Honor, the defense believes there is a huge contradiction in the witness's testimony.
Objection!
What is this? You must be an even bigger fool than I thought, Sir Blue Knight. You really do not possess even a sliver of common sense, do you?
Objection!
And now his theme song goes. If I may interrupt for just a moment, Mr. Barnum, allow me to ask you this. What need is there for common sense in a world that forgoes using it? Accordingly, I must humbly ask that you discard such a manner of thinking. Whatever do you mean? You have my utmost thanks for placing your trust in me, Mr. Wright. Let us discuss the one remaining weapon in this cross-examination. The remaining weapon. This trial has taught us a valuable new technique to be used in the courtroom, has it not? You mean questioning, right, Professor? Indeed it is, Luke. Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. That gives me an idea. In addition to catching a witness off guard and questioning them about another's testimony, there is one more thing. There's something else we can get from a 5-person cross-examination? That's right, of course. Indeed, Mr. Wright. Contradictions. Should one witness's testimony differ from another's testimony, that in itself can be considered a contradiction. Testimony contradicting testimony. Who would have thought of that until now? Ah, I see. Enough, Sir Blue Knight. Are you prepared to present to the court evidence proving the contradiction within this witness's testimony? The witness's testimony does not contradict any evidence. It contradicts the testimony. What are you talking about? It's time, Mr. Wright. Have a look at the touchscreen. For me to teach you this too. See the testimony, as well as those of the other witnesses. Keep your eyes peeled and identify the contradicting testimony. Oh, right! Let's give this another shot, Nick. And make sure you don't forget to take a look at the court record, too. Okay. Should know where we all were. He's not helpful. Couldn't so much a scream, okay. Heard the incantation. So 3 people there with us. There were only 3 others present with them in there. We're still there. Wait, he heard the voice from behind him, right? And she was behind him, but she says that she couldn't scream.
Objection!
Oh, cool. person contradicting this man's testimony is none other than you, Miss Kira. Are you both pointing at me? At the time of the incident, that man heard someone's voice call his name. That voice belonged to you, Miss Kira. It could not have been anyone else. And yet, in your testimony, you stated that you were in such shock during tonight's events that you couldn't even speak. This is a clear contradiction.
Objection!
What? What is the meaning of this, defender? Can you really claim to trust the sham of a witness and the sham of a testimony?
Objection!
That man's character is beside the point. His testimony is anything but a sham. As he watched the flames erupt, his attention was drawn to the voice behind him, which in turn made him fall over. He heard his voice calling his name. A very concrete reason enough to believe his testimony.
Objection!
If it is as you say, then explain why you feel this witness is somehow responsible. That's right, why me? People barely hear me when I'm out selling my flowers. That's how soft my voice is. And besides, there was another woman at the scene, wasn't there? Me? What are you getting at, young lady? Do you honestly think a woman of my age would be out late at night in the forest flirting with questionable men? Besides, I didn't even know this pathetic man's name. How can I even call out him? Neither did I, and even if I did know his name, do you really think that he's the kind of guy any self-respecting girl would want? Come on, ladies. I'm standing right here, you know. Poor guy. As I was saying, and the only person that guy could have heard from behind him was you, Miss Kira. The defense was just to present evidence to prove this claim. To accuse a witness like this young lady here is simply unheard of. I must warn you, defender, if you cannot prove your accusation to this court, you will see the underside of my gavel. It shows the evidence proving this young lady was the one who called out this man at the time of the crime. So be it.
Take that!
Take a look at this and you'll have your answer. This is the crime scene sketch. You can see the position of each witness during the crime. The only person that he could have possibly have heard from behind him was none other than Miss Kira.
Objection!
I might have jumped the gun on this spell, but now I'm starting to feel like we were coming to the end here with figuring who the real witch is. Listen here, Sir Blue Knight. I will only tell you this one more time. A sham of a witness yields only a sham of a testimony. That is all there is to it. Did you, in fact, see this flower girl's face? You know, now that you mention it, seeing as if I've fallen down and all, I don't think I saw her face. Okay, but you heard her voice, right? Let me think. The voice came out of nowhere. It was kind of high-pitched. And I guess it kind of sounded like her, but I can't say whether or not it was the girl's voice. And there you have it, Sir Blue Knight. Such a pity. Huh? My lord, it is clear the defense's claim is nothing but a pointless waste of the court's time. I recommend you deliver unto them a penalty befitting such behavior. Indeed, Inquisitor. Ready yourself, defender. What's that laughter? Pardon me, my lord. It looks like you've finally arrived at a decision. That means this has nothing to do with me. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? What are you saying? I'm saying that it's time for me to stop peddling testimony and get back to peddling flowers. Oh yeah, she wants to get out of here. I mean, look at all of these flowers left over. It's going to take until sunrise to sell them all if I stay here any longer. Or maybe, my lord, you and the rest of the court would be interested in buying my entire stock of flowers to help a girl out? No, I don't think. I mean, settled. Now, if you'll excuse me, my apologies for the interruption. Understood. The court will dismiss the witness. Well, Miss Kira, it would seem you're beginning to show the court your true colors. Oh, whatever do you mean? Okay then, everyone. It looks like that's that.
Hold it!
You're not going anywhere. Wait, you can't leave yet. This cross-examination isn't over. Now that's funny. You say it isn't over, and yet the rest of the court seems to think otherwise. Isn't that right, Inquisitor Barnum? The Inquisition maintains that the real witch is the accused to spell Cantabella. This girl is nothing more than a witness. As such, the court cannot force her to stay against her will. This is bad. If they let her walk out now... Nick, do you think she could be... a real witch? Yeah, that's made obvious. You really like throwing around accusations, don't you, Sir Defender? Well, let me spell it out for you. One last time. So even you can understand. I didn't know this man's name at all before today. I still don't remember it. So how could I have called out to him? Do you get it now? Now then, until we meet again, don't forget to buy some flowers on your way home, everyone. Get back here!
Hold it.
One moment, please, Miss Kira. Is there something else you wanted? You don't seem to realize what you just let slip. What are you talking about? This man testified that he heard his name called at the crime scene. However, you had no knowledge of this name at the time, is that correct? That's right. This weirdo is just imagining things. Like I said, I've already forgotten his name, even though he told it to us earlier. There is just one problem, Miss Kira. Namely, what the voice he heard tonight was actually saying. What do you mean? That's obvious. It was the name, wasn't it? Now, what was that name again? Oh, Lord, I'm still here, you know. You're saying that what this man heard tonight wasn't a name, but rather something else entirely? Indeed I am, Mr. Barnum. Something else. Aha! Yeah, sorry, I kind of jumped the gun on that, guys. Full disclosure, a few months ago, I started playing this game to post it, and stopped after this chapter. So after this chapter, so technically up to this point I've played it twice. After this chapter I won't have. However, I mean, I say that I knew that this girl was the witch. I knew that. But I did not remember the whole Amir thing. But I think because I knew she was a witch, that kind of led me to think about the spell. But, I mean, it was really obvious whenever they mentioned the name. Like, they were keeping it hidden for all that time. I don't know. I don't think it's because I played this game prior. Forget it. But yeah, no, full disclosure, I did play this a few months ago. Anyway, I say a few months ago, but I don't even think it was that short of a time ago. However long ago I posted the end of the Apologistus games, that's how long ago I played this. There's only one other thing it could be. It's a stretch, but the possibility is there. I don't think it's a stretch. It was hiding from us this entire time, and it was very obvious. That's right, Mr. Wright. A single possibility is the key to solving this mystery. Is the defense ready to present its evidence to the court? This is ridiculous. I demand you let me go this instant. Witness, what you are being accused of is not to be taken lightly. You will not leave this courtroom so long as any reasonable doubt remains. Defender, you may present your evidence. Show the court what the voice this man heard tonight was really saying. Now I can present it. My goodness. Excuse me, mister. I'm sorry. What's your name again? You've, got a name that no one seems to be able to remember for some reason. Hey, it's Amir! My name's Amir, darn it! How many times have I gotta say it? Imagine the number of times you say it, you do not look like an Amir. I only remember my most loyal customer's names, and he doesn't look like he could afford even a single day's food. Come on, guys, stop kicking a guy when he's down. Mr. Amir, what you heard tonight at the crime scene was not your name. Your name just so happens to sound exactly like a certain other name. Another name. The answer is right here in this tome. I'm talking about Amir. Amir? What he actually heard, at the time, wasn't his own name. It was the name of a magical incantation. What the? Miss Kira, have you forgotten what you said just a few minutes ago? You quite clearly stated that you didn't know this man's name. Ugh.
Objection!
Certainly not. Let me get this straight. You're saying that the Amir, heard by the witness, was actually said by this flower. And that it was not his name at all, but rather an incantation of a magic spell. The defense proposes the following. The true criminal, this supposed witch, is not the defendant, Mrs. Cantabella. But instead the witness who was heard uttering the magic incantation, Miss Kira. She's our witch. You use magic to vanish from the scene and try to frame Miss Cantabella instead. What just happened? Is that girl? Is the speller really not a witch? Unbelievable! I've never heard anything like this. Inquisitor Barnum. If those two really defeated Inquisitor Barnum?
Objection!
Now what? Also, I guess it's been more than a year since I posted the Apollo stuff, so that's how long it's been. Sorry, I was looking at that while all of the audience was talking. An impressive display, Sir Blue Knight. It would seem you have finally managed to hone your blade. However, I believe that blade's edge is already beginning to dull. What do you mean? I am referring to a contradiction, naturally. Hey, that's my line. My lord, the Inquisition would like to set the record straight regarding what transpired this evening. Very well, Inquisitor Barnum. Sir Blue Knight, you claim the following. At the time of the crime, the accused, Espella Cantabella, was surrounded by two rooms. Then, in order to frame the accused as a witch... Oh, I forgot she had glasses. Miss Kira cast the spell to mirror and made herself vanish. She then moved in closer to the victims. Wow. At which point she cast her names, thus causing the incident seen by our witnesses tonight. So far, so good. Indeed, that does seem to be the claim. The problem is what happened next. There's a contradiction in the defense's account of Miss Kira's movements. A contradiction in her movements? Allow me to continue. The witnesses have stated that they each ventured out towards the crime scene. Which is when Miss Kira, the witch, made her way to this point while still invisible. When she arrived at said spot, she then cast a mirror and reappeared to join the other witnesses. And there you have it. That is accurate, isn't it, Mr. Blue Knight? That's correct. And Mr. Amir heard her call his name. Well, then I have but one question that I would like you to answer. Why would a witch need to do such a thing? What do you mean? Supposing Miss Kira were a witch, surely she would not have made the conscious decision to reappear when she did. One would imagine she would remain hidden and flee the crime scene. Quite right. That's what I'd do if I was a witch. Given that point, there would be no viable reason for her to recite the incantation. In other words, it is inconceivable that this flower seller, Miss Kira, could be a witch. What just happened? Is that girl, Miss Kira, really not a witch? Oh gosh. Inquisitor Barnum just turned this entire trial right around. Just what I'd expect from Labyrinthia's sword of justice. It's time for you to give yourself up by monologuing over here.
That's right! You all heard it! It's just as Inquisitor Barnum said! Me, a witch! The idea is laughable!
Not good. She's completely bounced back on her feet. Oh, we were so close too! I can't believe Inquisitor Barnum! Can't you see it? You just have to take one good look at her. It's obvious she's the real witch here. Remember, Mr. Wright, at times like this, cool head will prevail. Mr. Layton, I'm sure you've had to fight your way out of circumstances such as these many times before. Love how chill he is. Layton is like the chill one. He doesn't, you know, go frantic like Phoenix does. He's not as flustered as Phoenix can be. He's very chill, very suave. Always good. This situation is no different. As a defense attorney, what would you usually do at such a time? What would you usually do at such a time? What would I usually do? Turn the case around? Of course. There's only one thing that can get me out of a situation like this. I've got to flip this case on its head and think outside the box. Yep, it's time for the turnabout. It would seem the defense has nothing further to add. Why, of course. That's because everyone knows the truth. They know that girl right there is the real witch. That settles it then. Go ahead and deliver your verdict, my lord.
Objection!
The situation is exactly as you described, Inquisitor Barnum. It really doesn't make much sense for the witch to have used a mirror. Regardless, the defense still maintains that Miss Kira did under that incantation and make herself reappear. Now the question is, for what reason? If she really didn't have to use that spell, then why use it in the first place? If I can find the answer to that question, then this entire case will start to unravel. Yeah, why did she use it? To be seen? The staff to be found? Most fascinating. Very well, allow us to hear this theory of yours. Walk me through it, Phoenix. Tell the court why it was necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. To be a witness. It's only gain once you eliminate the impossible. Whatever remains must be the truth. The reason Miss Kira reappeared at the scene of the crime was... yeah. To become a witness. Give herself an alibi. She had to be a distance away, right? It's either to become a witness or to give herself an alibi. Let's do the alibi. The answer is obvious. She's trying to give herself an alibi. Oh, is that right? Tell me, what would that alibi have been? Okay, she's gonna be a witness. Think about it. Why would she have needed an alibi if no one could have seen her to begin with? I mean, that's fair. Nope, he's absolutely right. Oh no, my pickerots! Must be thinking something along the lines of he is absolutely right. But why would she want to become a witness? Okay, wait. Let's think about this logically here. She wouldn't have had to become a witness. She could have just run off. She had to be covering up her crime. I can't think of any other possibility. This has to be the answer. Isn't it obvious? She was trying to cover up her own crime. Is that right? Tell me why we should do that. Okay, so she wanted to become a witness. Why did she want to become a witness? Why would she have to hide if no one could see her to begin with? Oh, no, I was right. I'm good. Yeah, because again, the witness wouldn't have made any sense. You heard the good Inquisitor. No matter how you look at it, there'd be no reason for me to reappear, assuming I was the criminal, that is.
Objection.
Huh. Pardon the interruption, but that's not necessarily the case. Mr. Layton? Explain yourself, Sir Top Hat. You have stated that Miss Kira had no reason to reappear. However, the situation changed, and it became necessary for her to show herself. Isn't that right, Miss Kira? Huh? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean. I'm not following my bluff here. It would seem the defense must clarify their argument with the evidence. Mr. Wright, I believe that Miss Kira did not intend to reveal herself at the crime scene. Rather, that something occurred which forced this young lady to make herself reappear. It was so important that she had to reappear and risk being spotted. Defender, tell the court why it would have been necessary for the witch to appear at the crime scene. Her glasses! She lost her glasses. Is that why? It's gotta be right.
Take that!
Oh, I totally forgot. I keep forgetting about the glasses. Miss Kira, you usually wear glasses, is that correct? Huh? Quit eating your flowers. They're not good for digestion. It's like I already told you. I lost my glasses a few days ago. Are you absolutely sure about that? Or did you not, in fact, lose them tonight? During the crime? Of course not. Perhaps Zira accidentally dropped them while you were committing the crime. Then as you were attempting to make your escape, you noticed they were gone. Therefore, you made yourself reappear, in order to search for your missing glasses.
Objection!
Well, I think we've done it, folks. How absurd such baseless conjecture. What you propose is fundamentally flawed. What do you mean? Let us assume, hypothetically, that the witch did in fact drop this evidence. It does not explain what purpose it would serve for her to make herself reappear. It would still make more sense for her to escape under cover of darkness.
Objection!
Unfortunately, this is why. Such a plan is simply not possible. What? Mr. Wright, do you understand what I'm suggesting? Yes. It means the reason Miss Kira made herself reappear at the crime scene. Okay, this is it. Defender, enlighten us. Why did the witness feel the need to make herself reappear? someone find her glasses? Someone found them. Why isn't she wearing? People would know that she was there. So someone found them? But she didn't know that at the time. She couldn't find her glasses. That's what she would have known at the time. The answer is simple, Your Honor. She couldn't find her glasses. She could not find them. If you've noticed, she's still not wearing her glasses right now.
Objection!
Hold a moment, Sir Blue Knight. What does that have to do with anything? That's right. It doesn't change a single thing.
Objection!
That's where you're wrong. In fact, it changes things quite a bit. Tonight, 2 victims were engulfed by flames courtesy of the magic spell. That very instant, 4 witnesses saw the flames erupt at the scene. It was at that point that something you didn't expect occurred. You suddenly lost your glasses. That's right, you were scared that if your glasses were discovered at the scene of the crime, you would be suspected of being a witch.
Objection!
Foolishness. Even if her glasses were found. She could simply have explained that she dropped them their days before the crime had happened.
Objection!
I'm afraid that was assumed possibility, Mr. Bond. What did you say? If you recall, it had been raining quite heavily at the crime scene before that. Had you stated that she dropped her glasses before the crime, then naturally, one would expect the glasses to be soaked in water and covered in mud. However, the rain had already stopped at the time the crime itself was committed. In other words, one look at the pair of clean, dry glasses would reveal that she had dropped them later, thus implicating her as the witch. No! Should have known. I was perfecting my rainfall rending technique in the forest, and not once during the rainfall did I see that flower maiden traveling along the nearby path. That's not all. In order to frame Miss Cantabella as the witch, you need to leave this witch's scepter behind us at the scene of the crime. I see. That would be the most definitive evidence that she is the witch. The objective here was to have somebody else discover the stab at the scene. Alas, that person was I. However, no doubt you came to realize that one can deduce which spells was used simply by examining the magic gems in the scepter. In this case, one can see that the witch might have used Demir to vanish from sight to make her escape. That's why, Miss Kira, you were left with no option but to reappear at the crime scene. That was the only way for you to avoid suspicion if someone were to discover your glasses at the crime scene. By reappearing, you'd be able to explain that you simply dropped your glasses when you rushed to see what had happened. What do you have to say to that, Miss Kira?
You know, I've let you both ramble on and on, but playtime is over. So that's it, then? I'm a witch because I dropped my glasses? I must have said it how many times now? I lost my glasses days ago. Were you even listening? I'll say it again. Over 1,000,000 times! I lost my glasses, I lost my glasses! Do you like evidence, Sir Defender? Do you love proof, Sir Top Hat? Then prove I dropped my glasses at the crime scene. Ha! You can't prove it! In other words, you lose.
I don't think I lose. That is correct. Proving such a thing would indeed be impossible. To prove that the witness dropped her glasses at the crime scene. What say you, Inquisitor Bottom? It is indeed a question of proof, my lord. These glasses have been missing from the very beginning. The Knights of the Inquisition found no trace of these glasses anywhere near the crime scene. Therefore, this witness cannot in any way be accused of being a witch. Are you serious? You had the man. But we were so close. That girl's a witch. Can't anyone else see that? What should we do, Professor? He's smiling. Well, what you seem to be able to finish what she had to say. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Wright? Yes, it certainly looks that way, Mr. Layton. What's with that face? Do you find anything funny here? It is as you said, Mr. Barnum. Explain. The defense raises just one further question. Why were you unable to find those glasses? What do you mean? You must have searched the area quite thoroughly, looking for them. And yet, even now, the Knights have been unable to locate these glasses. Did you ever wonder why? Yes, this has become quite the mystery. Surely they must be around somewhere. The glasses were lost to the wolves. It's the only explanation. There is still one remaining... Oh, wait, I think I know. One remaining place that you have not searched tonight. Huh. What did you say? Oh, man. The glasses were supposedly not found at the crime scene, leaving only one other possible place. What is this? You two. Have at you, Sir Blue Knight. Draw your blade and reveal to the court where the glasses are supposedly hiding. Oh, man. Looks like I've somehow managed to make it through my first witch trial. I love when things come circling back. It all comes down to this, the final piece of evidence. Time to clear up this case once and for all. Leave the rest in your capable hands, Mr. Wright. The piece of evidence pointing to the one place not searched tonight.
Take that!
Tonight, there was one thing that was carried away from the crime scene right under everyone's noses. And didn't that old man say he heard a sploosh? Carried away. I am speaking, of course, about this. That's the milk bucket that disappeared from the crime scene. Thus far, the defense's claim that the glasses were dropped at the crime scene has been regarded as mere speculation. However, if, Miss Kira, we find your glasses within the contents of this milk bucket, then our mere speculation will suddenly become fact. Take that. Take that. What manner of witchery? What are you talking about? Crazy, just crazy. No way can my glasses be inside that stupid bucket. That's just impossible. How about we quit the speculation and actually find out? What do you say? That'll just waste the court's time. Don't listen to them, don't! It is mandated that the Knights of the Inquisition investigate any and all possibilities during the course of the trial. My lord, the Inquisition requests that this milk bucket be searched immediately. Very well. Oh? What? Miss Kira, as you can see, your glasses have been found inside the milk bucket. The truth is out. Nothing you say can change that now. Which leads us to the next question. Specifically a question of when. Did she drop her glasses into the milk bucket? What? Why is this happening? This whole thing is ridiculous. The answer is obvious, isn't it? I dropped them afterwards, after I ran over to see the fire. I took a tiny peek inside that milk bucket. That's when they fell.
Objection!
Don't be stupid, child. Snowy and I were at the scene first. We made sure to take that milk bucket before anyone else could get their grubby little hands on it. We weren't going to let a single soul get anywhere near that sweet, creamy bucket of deliciousness. Get my fault, no. Each of these 4 witnesses has stated they heard the spell Ignace being passed at the time of the incident. According to Grand Grimoire, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a meter radius of the caster. In other words, the real witch must have been acting with Scantabella's side at the time of the incident. Indeed, that's where the glasses fell into the milk bucket. Therefore, there's only one logical conclusion. Only one person who would be the true witch.
Miss Kira, you are the real witch.
Ouch, at least it was just a wicker basket. Sounded painful, though. What a very strange trial this has been. From the very beginning, we have all paid witness to a most unusual set of circumstances. A baker turned defender, a surprise extra witness, and now a not guilty verdict for the accused. Never have I seen such a spectacle. Guess they're usually guilty. Is this really happening? The girl inside the cage. You mean she's the real witch? But what about that Spella Cantabella girl?
Miss Kira. Tell us why. Why were you trying to frame Miss Cantabella?
You could easily have escaped the crime scene without a trace. There was no reason to frame anyone. This crime was a result of nothing but your overwhelming ill intent.
To frame a person as a witch is to condemn that person to death by fire. Surely you must know this. So why Spella Cantabella?
Do you have any idea what it feels like to be a witch?
What it feels like?
I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for these powers, but I have them. And now here I am, begging for my life. I was living such a peaceful life until now. Selling flowers, getting scolded by my boss for not selling enough of them. That's why I was trying to put an end to these trials once and for all.
Put an end to the trials.
You all know what I mean? The one condition written in the story that will end these witch trials.
When the great witch Bezella has been put to the flames and vanquished from this world, these trials will come to an end.
This was my chance to finally end all this. At least that's what I thought. The sun had begun to set on that lonely forest path, and there wasn't a soul in sight. I always carried my hidden Telea Magica with me in case of a moment like this. I used my magic to expose that girl for what she really is. If I had been successful, then all these trials would finally end and I could go on living my peaceful life.
What? What are you saying? Am I hearing this correctly?
Are you actually accusing Spella Cantabella?
Why do you think no one has ever seen the legendary Great Witch? It's because she's been hidden in our midst the entire time. She's protected. She's hidden from us. It's all part of the story.
Part of the story?
Objection! That's enough! Speak no more. A witch's existence cannot be justified.
No, please! I know you've all noticed it too! You could end this! All of this! That girl! It's all because of that girl! I beg you! Please! Please knights of the court. Isn't it your duty to protect the people of this town? Give me another chance!
That is where you're wrong. Tis indeed a knight's duty to protect. We are impelled to protect the citizens of Labyrinthia against you and your ilk. The reason you were offered my protection until now was because your guilt was uncertain. There was the possibility that you were not a witch. The circumstances were such that it seemed another was guilty. That possibility has since disappeared, and your innocence along with it. You now find yourself at the other end of my sword. Vile witch, enemy of Labyrinthia, may the fires purge you from this land!
Hold it! Please, wait! Stop! Please, just stop this!
Spella!
If it means putting an end to these horrible trials... Let me take her place. Let me be Bezella. Send me to the flames. But please, if it would save her life...
This trial has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that this flower seller, Kira, is a witch. And according to the law, all those found to be witches will be executed.
Did he say executed? He can't mean...
Did you really not expect that, Phoenix? It's gonna happen right here and right now.
This is most unsettling.
Bailiff, ready the fire.
Ugh.
No!
No! Don't do this!
Listen to me! Don't let her fool you! Isabella is the Great Witch! Hear me! There's no time to waste! She's Bezella! Take her! And then these witch trials will be no more! The witch trials will end!
Yeah, this is a rough one. We never actually see the execution or anything. Like, you know, we accuse the witnesses and all that in all the other games, and they say, oh, this trial will be held at a different date, and that's the farthest we go. And the closest we got to seeing the fate of a criminal, or a supposed criminal, was in Ace Attorney Investigations, where we saw, what's his face? The guy that was the defendant, but was not proven innocent. I don't know. Ugh. So far, we've always managed to pull off a win and get a not guilty verdict, but winning has never felt this pressing. Oh, Isabella, are you all right? Yes, I just want to thank all of you. You all came to my rescue yet again. Well, yeah, of course you did. Oh, hold on a second, Isabella. What did you say just now? You all came to my rescue yet again? You don't mean... Yes, I remember everything. I remember the last trial. I suppose that makes this the second time we've met. And the second time all of you have helped me. Mr. Wright, my to infer that you and Isabella have met before. Yeah, it seems that way. You too, Mr. Layton? Perhaps it would be best if we briefed each other on what has transpired. That would be helpful. Okay, what should we discuss? Oh, okay, we're just gonna chat. What happened in London? Isabella paid us a visit in London. She had in her possession a letter from an old acquaintance of mine. Is that right? Mr. Accidenti helped drive Isabella straight out of Labyrinthia. You kept me safe from witches that were chasing me. Wait, did you say witches? So they appeared in London too? Regrettably, I'm unable to say that our protection was absolute. When we saw you last, it seemed you'd managed to escape courtesy of that passing freighter. Oh yeah, that's right. What happened to you after that, Isabella? I rode the ship along the river for a while, before arriving at a nearby port. And then... that's when I met Mr. Wright and Maya. Okay. I didn't know where the ship would end up. I felt very lonely out there. Please accept my sincerest apologies. I'm afraid there was nothing else I could do to prevent it. Oh, no. Please, stop blame yourself, Mr. Layton. I just didn't know what to do. So I tried to look for something. Anything on the ship that might help me. Boy, you sure found something, all right. Or rather, someone. You ran into a master thief working as part of the ship's crew. Yes, that's right. Did you say master thief? Crikey, that's amazing. I wouldn't exactly say it was amazing. After that, I was taken to court, and that's when Mr. Wright helped me. I see. Then perhaps, somewhere deep within your mind, you must have existed a memory of that previous trial, and of Mr. Wright. Hence why you thought to seek out his help when you found yourself in such an unfortunate situation this evening. That makes sense. After all, Nick did make legal history that day in jolly old England. Did you say he made history? Wow, that's incredible. Right, Professor? I wouldn't exactly say I made history. But then, after that, I was never able to find my way back to the Professor. Even after I went through the pains of finding that clue, it ended up being taken away from me. What clue? A clue, you say? Yes, the tag that was hanging around the neck of that sweet little stuffed toy was a clue. That tag was a clue? A clue for what? Wait, do I still have it? I had a lot of time to think while I was on that ship. I thought about a lot of things. Like how to try and find a way back once the ship arrived at its destination. Things like that. Find a way back? A way back to Mr. Layton and Luke. They were the only ones I knew I could depend on to help me. Pleasure was ours, Isabella. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't remember the name of the town where they lived. You mean London, Isabella? Oh, that's it. London. That's what was written on Carmena's letter to Mr. Layton. And on the tag. The blue teddy bear I found in that room was wearing a tag around its neck. Sorry, Isabella, but PC Badger was nothing like a teddy bear. On the tag, in very small letters, was written London. I recognized the name of the town. I thought it might be an address. It's because that stuffed toy was used in a special promotion run by the London Metropolitan Police. Oh, that's right! Isabella, you must have known that address was super important, so that's why you kept the tag, right? That way you can meet up with Mr. Layton and Luke again. I just felt so lonely and helpless. I wonder, though, who do you think really did it? Hit Olivia over the head with a pipe, I mean. What's this? Oh yeah, I guess we never did find out who the real culprit was. I do believe that may have some connection to the group of witches. What? You mean the witches that were chasing us through London? Indeed. It could be that they noticed you escaped onto that ship and managed to infiltrate their own way aboard. Could it be? So, you're saying there was some big scary witch lurking around the inside of that cargo hold? I'm afraid there is a rather high possibility that was the case. Those witches were intent on seeing you brought back to Labyrinthia no matter what. However, in order to do so, they had to make certain you did not become entangled in any situation that may stall your capture. In other words, a situation with Miss Al Dente, you mean? Precisely. They must have knocked their crew member unconscious and attempted to recapture Isabella before the police could arrive. However, their plan was clearly foiled, given that you ended up in court regardless. And that's when she became my client. I just can't clearly remember anything that happened back then. Do you think there's a possibility that someone was pulling his false strings the entire trial? Hey, maybe you're right. There was something a little strange about Spella at the time. Mr. Wright, Spella was introduced to you at the time as a schoolgirl. Is that correct? Yes. She would have had no knowledge of the world outside Labyrinthia. That being the case, having her stand in an English courtroom as she was would pose a serious problem. Meaning that someone must have been attempting to cover up Spella's identity. What? But, Professor, could someone really do that? That they could indeed, Luke. If it's as I suspect, I believe our adversaries may be far more powerful than we originally thought. Just exactly who or what are we dealing with here? Hey guys, let's head back to the bakery for now. I bet the boss is waiting for us with one heck of a pastry feast. Oh, actually, I can't go home right just yet. Huh? You can't? Aww. Well, there are still a couple of legal procedures to be taken care of before I can go home. And please, you all go ahead without me. Last time that happened, you wound up in trouble. Is that so? Very well. Really, Layton? Not gonna escort her? Like a gentleman? I really must thank you all. Thank you so much for everything. Alrighty then, Espella. We'll catch you later. Yes. Farewell for now. Mr. Wright, please allow me the pleasure of a proper introduction. My name is Herschel Layton. I'm a professor of archaeology in London. A professor? Huh. Well, my name is Phoenix Wright. I'm an attorney. As I suspected, you're no ordinary baker after all, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I thought it was pretty weird myself, to be honest. I mean, I really did believe I'd been a baker all my life. The more everyone kept saying it, the less sure I was that it was actually true. Just where did that memory come from, anyway? Hey, Professor! If Mr. Wright is an attorney, that must mean he's as smart as you, right? I'm afraid I can't really say, Luke. But behind every ace attorney, there's an even smarter, not to mention beautiful, witty, and utterly amazing ace assistant. I think you also forgot humble. My name's Luke Triton. I'm the professor's apprentice. I'm Maya Fey. And Nick here is my apprentice. Isn't that right, Nick? Isn't that right, Nicky boy? Nicky boy. Hey, wait. Why am I your apprentice? Anyway, we should all head back to the bakery. Let's get a move on. I'm sure Spella will be back before we know it. I would not get your hopes up about that, Sir Blue Knight. Hello, Barnum. Inquisitor Barnum. Most impressive work tonight. It's a shame it's kept such a hidden until now. Trust me, Nick's lawyer's abilities beat the hands off his baking abilities any day of the week. Okay, moving on. What do you mean by that, Inquisitor? Why can't Spella go home? New charges have been brought against Mrs. Spella Cantabella. What? No way! That can't be right! You've realized it, haven't you? She's being charged under suspicion of being the Great Witch Bazella. She what? How can that be? Am I to assume the charge is based purely on Miss Kira's accusation? It was not I who made the decision. Huh? Regardless, the girl will return to court at the appointed time for further trial. Until then, I'm to seek out any and all evidence pertaining to the Great Witch. Pardon me, Inquisitor. When exactly is this appointed time? The investigation into this allegation will conclude on the day of the storyteller's next parade. That would be 2 weeks from today. Following our investigations into the matter, the trial of the Great Witch shall proceed. What the? It would appear the girl has been withholding a dark secret from you. Spella? Spella Cantabella's questioning is set to begin tomorrow. That means visiting hours are over. We're going to leave immediately. Is there a detention center in this world? Spella, the legendary Great Witch Bezella? The story that dictates the fate of an entire town. Now a so-called Great Witch named Bezella. Most intriguing. It would seem to be up to us to uncover the answers to these mysteries. But how are we supposed to manage it all in 2 weeks? Where are we going to find any evidence? I was thinking. How do you address a Great Witch? Hail to thee, O magnificent magical one? Or maybe just, what's up, witchy baby? What difference would it make? She's called a Great Witch. It's not someone I'd ever want to meet. I believe I've thought of a solution to our problem. It's actually rather simple. Professor Layton, allow me to explain, Mr. Wright. The only way we may be able to solve the mysteries of this town and its residents is if we join forces. He's right. We've come this far, there's no way we're just going to give up on a spell. Okay, I'm on board. I look forward to teaming up with you, Professor. Me too, Luke. Me too, Maya. Now then, shall we press on? This marks the beginning of our own story, one dictated by ourselves and written by our own hands. Woo, let's do it. 2 chapters in, plus prologues. Plus 2 prologues. 4 chapters in! And we're finally teaming up. My credibility! I wonder what the picker odds do at the end of the game. I don't remember. I think it's just like a score to have. I don't think it gives me anything. I've already lost, what was that total? 4? So, 200? Yeah. Anyway. Well, that is the second trial of the game. And yeah, like I said, I did play a year ago, but I don't remember anything. I just remembered that she was the witch. Because when I played a year ago, I was like, I had no idea what was going on. So I had a little bit more knowledge than I would have going into it blind. But I totally forgot about the surprise 5th witness and everything else in between. So clearly, my memory is not going to be any good anyway. And as the game continues, I won't remember anything because this is where I stopped. So Spella has now been accused to be the Great Witch Bezella. Spella Bezella Cantabella. And yeah, I wonder if this is just going to keep going. Like, Spella is going to be the defendant each time, and I just have to keep defending her from accusations. And if she's accused of being the Great Witch, and burning the Great Witch ends the witch trials, does that then mean that I won't find the true Great Witch in the next trial? Because if I found the true Great Witch in the next trial, and then she was burned, the witch trials will be finished, unless that's the end of the game, which I don't think it would be, because that's short. Well, I mean, I would think that it's short. What's this, part 6? And then that would be, what, part 7, 8, 9, maybe? No, it's bound for more parts than that. Well, I guess we'll find out. But first, I guess we're gonna go. I think it's still gonna go back and forth, like investigation, trial, investigation, trial, investigation, trial, and we know that it's not for another 2 weeks. So whatever else happens in between that, we shall see, and we shall. So stay tuned, stick around, subscribe, and get notified for the upcoming episodes as we continue in this game. I hope you're enjoying, and I will talk to you guys next time.